Levi, why is AutoFlow and TekMetric, why is the integration between the two so great?
The integration between the two, we have a high level integration with these two. And as soon as the ticket is created inside of TekMetric, right from the time the customer comes in, as soon as this ticket goes into the work in progress here, it automatically populates and pulls all the information right over from AutoFlow into our site. No extra steps required. So that's awesome. And you can custom map the workflow statuses inside of here as long as they're spelled correctly with TekMetric. So we can go through here and select these RO labels. And once we change the status inside of here, now it has a two-way sync, and you'll see where it automatically updated the status right here inside of AutoFlow. And the same thing happens from AutoFlow to TekMetric. So once a technician is done completing a DVI right here, it will automatically update this status to estimating. And when it does, when this happens, it triggers a response back into TekMetric. So you see that they talk together two ways. I really find that a very useful feature when you're live in the shop. At a quick glance, you can look up and say, hey, I need to go start looking at this DVI that was performed under Levi's Forerunner, and then I can start estimating the work. So all that information pulls through. When we're inside of TekMetric, the information from the car, if you input the mileage or the plate or the VIN, that all will pull over. You see 375 on this vehicle right here inside of Levi's Forerunner. 375. And if it's the wrong mileage, if I need to update it, let's say, hey, the service writer got it wrong or whatever, technician's in there, let's say it actually has 425,000 on it, which is not unrealistic for those. Now, once that happens, this updates inside of here as well, and you'll see right here, 425,000.
And that's instant. I mean,
that's instant.
Yeah. I mean, the time a second to click to that other tab, and it was already updated.
Yep, that's correct. And it's not also that; it's the service writer assignments, the technician assignments. All of that is instantaneously as soon as you click on the button here. Inside the vehicle info here, any of this information here, sub SR5, license plate, VIN, any of this pertinent information will pull over. It's really nice. It makes it very seamless. What we don't want to do is slow things down. And I know that time is money in the auto field. What we want to do is we want to move fast, and it doesn't get any faster than how these two work together.
Absolutely. And I mean, we all know TekMetric is a great piece of software. Why would someone want to add AutoFlow on top of TekMetric?
The reason for that is the DVIs, in my opinion, are AutoFlow's DVIs are the best, and they always have been. I'm coming from a background as a service advisor for 15 years. I've used AutoFlow, and I've used several other clients in that time before I found AutoFlow. And what is nice to me is how simple and easy this is to use for everybody. There are some initial setup features that need to be done, and we work with many shops on this. So it's nice to have the ability to custom create a workflow process for every shop, because we know that not one size fits all. But the DVI that we have here is it's the best, and I'll show you why here. We have full customization over tire note, like let's say tire notes, for instance. This is at the very start. So when I have a tire that comes in, I can select on this drop down between the green, the yellow, and the red here. And let's just say this tire is a flat repair needed. So I have these custom notes in here. And when I select that, now it tags this tire as red. This is what the customer is going to see. Our inspections always show up as completed inspections. So whatever you fill out inside of here is what the customer is going to see. If you skip this information, let's say you didn't check the rear tires, they're not going to see that those items didn't get checked. They're only going to see the items that were checked off on this, and that's a nice feature. Some inspections will show up like 66% completed out of 100, so it looks like it's incomplete, where ours always shows up as a completed inspection. You'll see here where I have different can notes. If I want to, let's say this tire has 730 seconds on it. When I select that, now it tags it green. So this is what the customer is going to see. They'll see tread depth, and they'll see the color status here. Really super easy to view here. And you'll see where I've been messing around with this. I have different axles with dualies on it. Just moving down just to show you another cool feature that we have here. And this is custom created inside the DVI. When you come into, let's say, transmission fluid, when I go to add my note in here, we have predefined notes from itemized. So you'll see here where we have different statuses. Due for service, no dipstick, requires additional time to assess, excuse me. You'll see where we have red items in here. Maybe it's dark, it's got a strong odor to it. If I select that, once I do this predefined note, now it hits the note here, it tags the item. And once I hit save, and you'll see here where it actually made a recommendation, do not service transmission fluid. Or you could have whatever you want to create in here, which is really nice. Let's say we want to do a drain and fill with OE type. We select that, I hit save, and you'll see here when I did that, I tagged a MotoVisual inside of this so our technicians and our service advisors can have these videos to help present this information, why it's important to do a transmission service. A lot of times people they'll discredit the importance of maintenance on the car. But proper maintenance, we all know, can lead to having that vehicle get to 375 like this 4Runner does. I think this is an actual what I drive is an 01 4Runner. It's got 378 on it, and I've maintained it. But you'll see here with this video that automatically attaches, now I have a 45-second video explaining why it's important to do this and why we do this. It just helps better educate the customer.
And
that's what it's all about.
Big point. I mean, some customers, a lot of customers just are not familiar with how the internals of a car work, and they might be declining services just by not understanding it. And being able to explain it in a visual way like that helps them understand, like, okay, that is important. I should get that fixed.
Yep, exactly. And the conversations are really, they're more open-ended because of the fact that when I tell a customer, hey, I'm going to send you the report that the technician sends me, so everything's open. It's like keeping the customer or bringing the customer out into the shop environment without having them have to be there and wait for their vehicle to be there. So that's the power of the DVI, is of visual reference, a visual presentation of what's going on with their car. It gives them an educated baseline, and from there you can help them keep this thing going. I know there's only so much money in the bank sometimes you can prioritize this, but it gives them a great starting point. Even with new customers, it's a wow factor. It's a wow factor in the shop, kind of like Wi-Fi was a wow factor back in the day with Starbucks.
Yes.
Same type of thing. This is here to stay, and it's time to, get on board with it, really.
Earlier this summer, I ran over a screw and I wasn't near my house. So obviously I had to go stop in a shop and get a repair real quick to make it home. They didn't have any of this. And I was shocked. They were taking all my personal information, phone number, email, name. And I'm like, sweet, I'm going to get some information about my tires. No, just a little bit later, they popped out with a handwritten sheet of paper and, hey, here's our recommendations. And I'm like, okay, well,
yep,
great.
And it just seems outdated at this point in 2025, where we're getting a sheet of paper instead of some kind of digital record. Everybody's got a cell phone in their hands, young, old. This works with everybody. People that are sitting in your lobby, send them the DVI and they look at it because they're on their phone while they're in the lobby anyways.
Exactly.
And then they look up and they're smiling and they're like, this is awesome. I've had it happen over and over and over again. I can just tell you from my experience.
Yeah, and with no photos on this handwritten sheet of paper, I didn't have any context as to what is that actually bad? Is that good? What's it look like? And while I did keep that sheet of paper, and not saying I'm a big fan of paper as well, I like records of both digital and physical. Mm-hmm. Being able to have both is great. that physical sheet, I'm looking at my file cabinet. I know it's in there somewhere. I know it's in my vehicle folder. I keep all my maintenance records and all that, but I forgot about it until we had this conversation, and they had some other future suggestions. And
You know what happens to all my pieces of paper, Scott? They go in a cabinet and they get buried. And then it's at one point that I'm sitting there like, what is all this paper? It'll be a year later, where we're on our devices more than ever, and it's a part of our life. So to be able to have this as a quick access tool
exactly.
is really nice. What While I'm here, I can show you too. Inside of our DVI, we do have like private notes available. So if we needed to say anything that's shared just between the technician and the service advisor, our inspection does have that, which is really
That's
nice. Yeah, like if we need more labor or whatever it is, make sure to get OE fluid.
and that's great for
And
communication inside the shop for stuff the customer doesn't need to see. But
exactly. Yep. So we have that ability. I'll show you down here on a different spectrum here. We'll go to under car and we'll just do like a broken coil spring here on this. So I'm going to attach my picture here and let me find a quick picture to add. Now, when I add this broken coil spring here, now we can do this. The technician can do this. The service advisor can do it. We do recommend marking up the image, and we do have that ability. So inside of this picture, when we click on it, here's that coil spring that's broken. Some people, most people might not even know what they're looking at when you take these pictures. So by taking this arrow, dragging it down, pointing it out, putting a note on here, and we'll just say that broken just to keep it simple. We hit save, and now that's what the customer is going to see. So it's really nice. The pictures are time stamped as well for the date and the time that it was. So there's no questions about anything. And then we can just put our note in here. We'll say broken serious hazard, or we can use the one like I had here from the itemized. We could just say any one of these. Obviously, this is broken, so I'll just leave it at that. Now it tags it. We hit save. We're all good to go. The AI notes also are fantastic. So if I didn't like what the technician's writing and I wanted to clean that up, I have AI built in here right next to that. And if I like the note, you'll see it's AI revised for that specific line item. And if I like it, I hit accept. Now I have a different note that's in here, just pointing out how it's essential to address this issue. Just something a little more professional sounding than broken or excessive wear or, some of these things that we use in the shop.
those more detailed notes, they help educate the customer. And
Yep,
that's important. If the customer isn't informed on what you're suggesting, they're likely to decline the service or anything like that. And so
that's correct.
to have that great note, and with one click, 2 clicks, you click the AI button, you click accept, and now you have a really great note. I want to talk about what you're talking about a little bit ago with the automated. When you choose an option, it did all those other things, added the MotoVisuals, added the note, all of that. That saves seconds per time, but imagine those seconds over a day, week, month, year. I mean, that's hours and hours saved by having this automated with just a couple clicks.
Exactly. And once you get your process down of how you're walking around the car, you're starting at the tires and you can snap a picture real quick, take a note, keep moving, and it keeps the momentum going. This isn't something that's going to slow anything down. I think slowing down is going down to a pen and paper while you're walking around and then having grease on your hands while you do it and presenting that to a service advisor on top of that, and then having the potential of this piece of paper where you can't even read what they're writing on, is lost in the shuffle of all the things that come in, all the other paperwork that comes in for parts or customers that come in. So everything's saved on here just for easy access on this. And I'll just go into it. Tell me if I'm moving too fast, Scott, here. But
Oh, it's
once,
great.
yeah, once we're done with this, I mean, I'll just say that this is a completed inspection right here. Now, when I submit this report, oh, I didn't fill out all my DVI items. That's okay. And it's going to pull me over to where I need to go. You'll see here, I didn't check that. Let's try. I think that's the rest of it. Please acknowledge. I didn't do that either. That's okay. We're going to hit acknowledge now. Now, once I submit that report, it auto pushes into TekMetric. So this inspection here inside of AutoFlow will come over inside a Levi's vehicle right here in the inspection tab. And then you'll see here, multi-point inspection powered and by ATME. And then it'll have all the notes in here with the pictures ready to go for the estimate. It's got my tire information, and this is why these two are so awesome together. Now, by doing this inside of this inspection, once I hit save right here on this pencil, when I go to my estimate tab, it pulls all the things that are red or yellow, and now I can just copy to estimate, or I can individually select it here, create my work. Let's say I just wanted to do the struts for now. If I copy to estimate and I move down, all my notes pull right into this work box right here. And this is going to go on the work order to the customer as you present them the bill at the end of the sale. So it's all saved, minimizing all the typing that has to be done throughout the day. So we're talking about how fast and efficient these work together.
That is just great. Yeah, and the time saved and the consistency you get, that's important.
Yep.
Delivering a great, consistent experience to all your customers. I mean, that's great. And yeah, these two together are just awesome.
Faster we can write the estimates, the faster we can get the car back once we get the approval after that.
Exactly. Reducing
And that's what it's all about. We know time is money, and people are getting stressed because they don't have their car. So we have really efficient workflow created right here. So basically, now that we created our estimate, we'll just pretend the estimate's there, and I'm waiting on parts. I'll just hit this status right here. We'll switch, and you can see where it will update inside of here.
And
Waiting for parts.
You said customers are stressed not knowing where their car is. I agree, and that's one of the great things about doing DVI and our texting updates is how many times in the shop did you get a call? Hey, is my car ready? Hour later, is my car ready?
Is my car ready? So by doing these status updates, and I'll show you how this is beneficial and how easy this is. We touched on this briefly on this last week, but if I am inside of here, once I have my estimate and let's say we're servicing the vehicle and I don't want to call the customer, I don't have time to call the customer. If I status update the customer here that I'm servicing the vehicle, this will trigger a response inside of AutoFlow servicing the vehicle. And what happens is by clicking that one button, the text message that gets sent out to the customer, hey, Levi, a technician is now servicing your vehicle. So they get that automatic status update. So you don't have to take that phone call, and you can keep on moving with everything else that you need to do throughout your day.
Exactly. And you said you'd have to call the customer. Well, what if they're in a meeting? What if they're in the middle of a workout where they can't answer the phone?
Well, exactly. And we're in an age where we're texting more and more than ever, and we text our family, we text our friends. Why can't we do that with clients? We should be doing that with clients as well. Keeping the communication the same that you would treat your friends and family.
It's come to be expected by customers. I think that when I order a package and I say, yes, I want the text alerts from USPS and shipping label created, arrived at facility, all the way to 10 stops away from your door, then delivered.
Mm-hmm.
That's great. I love that. I'm not one.
Yeah, and it's not like people don't want to talk to people, because we still want to talk to our clients or our customers or our guests, but this keeps some of that. It kind of weeds through some of those unnecessaries.
Exactly. And what it allows you to, when you are actually talking with the customer, you don't got to go through all the basic stuff. You can have real conversations about important topics.
Yep, exactly. And you'll see here too, like now that let's say the technician is done servicing the vehicle, they can select this QC button, and by doing that, at a quick glance, the service advisor will know that it will be in QC. So right now, easy enough, I'm looking at it, and if a customer does call, I can say, hey, Mr. Linsman, looks like John's in the QC process right now. We're getting close to it. We'll call you as soon as it's ready, or we'll text you.
And
it can be that easy.
So it's really making everything better, from the customer all the way up to the service advisor and everyone in between.
Yep. Everybody in between.
Yep. On the same page. That's great.
Yep. It's an open account. It's open. It's transparent. And like I said, I don't think it gets any better than this.
I agree. What if a customer texted back and said, hey, could I get a video on this item that's a red item that you hadn't provided MotoVisuals for? Can they get that after the fact?
Yes, they can. And how that applies is we go into this text dialog box, or this, I'm sorry, it would be under this text manager box here. And once we do that, we find our customer. So in here, when we select Levi, then you'll see here where it has MotoVisuals inside of there. So if I just needed to quickly attach a MotoVisual, let's say it was for a cabin air filter, we type cabin, we find our cabin air filter video, we hit attach, and then it sends them just that one link. So we're able just to send that one video link to them.
That's awesome.
Yep, our text manager is really nice. We have the ability to filter out any of the unread text messages, follow-up messages, appointments that are created. So we can go through and filter this. And we also have the ability to have this text manager box in its own screen. So if I want to just have one window open just for this, so I could have my marketing tab or my follow-ups, then I could have that open separately, so I wouldn't have to look for all of this inside of this workflow. Really nice feature.
That's great. I mean, that having it in its own window like that makes it real easy to make sure you're on top of responses, make sure no one is left unread or unreplied to. That's really convenient.
Exactly. Yep.
All right, Levi. Well, thank you very much. That's been very helpful. Wonderful to see why TekMetric and AutoFlow are so great together as an integration.
Glad to be here. Glad to help out.
All right. And you have a great day.
You too, Scott. Thanks, man.